So back to this liquidity void that I was teaching you on. There are things in price action that a time-based chart has the advantage in showcasing that you otherwise wouldn't know. When you have a imbalance where the price moves sharply lower, you have this real big candle, depending upon whatever time frame you're looking at, it doesn't make a difference. If you have a very large elongated candle and you have a candle prior to it and a candle after that, that creates that imbalance that we look at as a SIBI. SIBI is a sell side imbalance, buy side inefficiency. That means it's going to be a big down candle. Inside that candle, you're going to be looking for what I just showed you, small little gaps. And you have the benefit of finding them if you're using very, very small time frames, like a 1 minute, a 1 second, 5 second, or 15-second chart. Now, I get asked all the time, like when I'm scalping intraday, what time frames do I use? I use a 1 minute or less. That's what I'm using. That's also the reason why I don't care what type of trade I'm doing. I can still enter whatever time frame or style of trading setup that might be. Say short-term trade, like I'm going to hold it for a couple of days, which has been very, very rare. I'm holding one contract over the weekend. You saw that with the ES. But rarely am I holding, beyond the session. When the New York session closes, I'm usually square on the day and I hold nothing. I'm flat. So, and it's only because of the volatility and all the crap that's going on. If we ever get through this shit, then I'll go back to doing short-term trading because there's lots of money in that. And there's not a whole lot of babysitting. I can still pyramid and let them roll and get a couple hundred points or pips in the market. I'd like to go back to Forex, but my thoughts about that. I don't want to go on that and mix up this conversation with that either. But when you have that imbalance, a SIBI, you're looking at a big candle that's down, and you go through that SIBI and you look for those tiny little breaks in the lower ultra short-term time frame. And you're only going to see that with a time chart that shows 1 second, 5 second, 15 second. Why does ICT use TradingView? Because I can teach you how to do what I do in that platform. Because they give you the access to those ultra short-term time frames. Because it's giving you a greater detail beneath the surface that nobody else is aware of. Because you're locked into your platform, Ninja Trader. You're locked into your platform, C Trader or Sierra Charts or Supercharts or TradeStation or whatever the fuck you're using. It doesn't make a difference. I'm giving you an approach that way. I'm not jumping around doing every other fucking possible platform out there. Look, I have people from all these companies reach out to me all the time. Hey, you want to start doing a partnership? We will give you this if you get this many people to sign up. Fuck all that. I'm not an introducing broker. I'm not going to ever sign up with that shit. Okay, I'm not going to rep your funded account company. I don't want to fucking deal with your brokerage bullshit. I don't give a fuck about your money. I make more fucking money I'm ever going to fucking need. I don't need partnerships. Okay, so when I tell you about something, like when I mentioned AMP, I said they fucked with me, and I brought the receipts. Okay, I'm not out here telling you to go to any broker. I'm not out here telling you to go to any one particular funded account. I'm not in bed with any of these motherfuckers. I'm the straightest arrow you're going to get. I have no incentive to butter you all up to go into business with any of these people. That's why I tell you all the time, a brokerage firm is off limits discussion for me. I'm not an introducing broker. I'm not getting tied up in all that bullshit. And they're all assholes as far as I'm concerned. Okay, there you go. But if they really fuck up something and it's in my bag, I'm going to tell you about it. And I don't give a fuck what they do. The worst thing they're going to do is close my account. Fuck off. Believe me, there's other fucking people out there I can open up with. I don't give two shits about your fucking brokerage firm. But they made right, so I retracted it on my YouTube channel. So there's the history on that as well. Long story short, these 1 second charts, these 5 second charts, these 15-second charts, they're going to show you porous price action. Porous price actions where there's little tiny actual gaps between one candle before and the next candle that forms. That little gap, that is a real liquidity void. Now, a liquidity void So that way, when we go forward, we're not talking about Chris Lorry's definition of a liquidity void. It is the absence of any liquidity at all. No buy side or sell side. There's an actual gap in the chart. My students know that that is always what we refer to as a real liquidity void, where there's a real actual gap. There's no price data at all. That absolutely is a void in liquidity. It's void of any trading. That's a definition that should make sense to everyone. So inside of any buy side imbalance or sell side imbalance, BISI or SIBI, you're looking for those small little micro fractures in price where there isn't a smooth connection between all candles. Time charts are the only way you're going to see that, folks. Fuck all these other clowns that tell you, oh, time-based charts, you got to have the Heikin-Ashi, the Renko, the fucking range bars. Fuck that Mickey Mouse shit. None of that fucking matters. None of it. None of that shit. An algorithm is not looking at fucking Renko. It's not looking at Ichimoku, Yokiman, whatever the fuck you're going to make up. It's all bullshit. Okay? It's open, high, low, and close, and time. That's it. That's all it is. That is it. You need to know where price is going. That's the mystery that you need to figure out. And you don't need to know bias to know that, because you can see where the draw on liquidity is intraday on a 1 minute chart. There's several places it's going to reach for. Now, depending upon the range for where the market price is now and where it's likely to go for a run on stops or rebalance, hey, guess what? That's an opportunity. But ICT, it's only 3.5 handles. Well, guess what? 3.5 handles, that happens at least half a dozen times intraday, all day long throughout the course of a day. You can find very, very low risk 3.5, 4 points in the S&P easily. And you don't think you can make money with that? You don't think you can make money with that? I just took $6,000 to $44,000 in 2.5 weeks just doing that. Real money, folks. Not a demo. Boom. So you get wrapped up in all these things that are not really controversies. You know, it has to be a big trade of 50 to 1 because these quote unquote SMC traders, they're all doing 50 to 1, 200 to 1, and they're all still trading on micro lots. It's been 3 years now. 3 years, and these cats are still on micro lots. Why? You can't make money? What the hell's wrong with you? Because if that's what SMC is, then obviously SMC, their way, is full of shit. And then I understand why everybody thinks what I've been doing and what I've authored and created and made available to everybody. When I say it's smart money concepts, which is what I dubbed, okay? I dubbed that. That's me. That's what I've been teaching. That's what I was calling it on fucking Baby Piss when I was doing all my teachings then. What is this? It's smart money concepts. This is what the smart money does. Well, naturally, now when you have all these YouTubers, and Trader Nick, I'm going to come back to you. I didn't forget you. Well, all these folks out there talking about SMC traders, yes, largely, they're a bunch of assholes that have no idea what you're talking about, but you can't lump me into that. That was the whole point of me coming out here this year, bringing receipts, showing you what really you don't know, and introducing the real me, showing you who I am with character. Like who is the guy behind this bullshit? It's me. I'm talking to you. I'm a genuine person. I love my students. I absolutely want to teach people and help them find their way. And listen, what I've shown you this year, my audience is as big as it's ever been. I'm going to be real honest with you. I could have taken in another $50 million just this year instead of doing it for free. Now, you find a motherfucker walking this planet that's going to say, fuck you. I don't want your $50 million. Fuck you. I don't want your money. $50 million. That's a lot of money. And I could have been doing exactly what I've been doing this entire year. Instead of just making multiple copies of the videos and putting them in different user groups, I did it for free. I'm spending time on Twitter. I'm pointing to things before it happens, just like I did for years in my mentorship. When everybody outside of it was saying, he calls both sides in the marketplace. He does a wishy-washy. You don't know what he's going to do. You've never seen that with me. And I understand, because these people on Twitter, they draw their little lines. This is where it could go if it's going to go up. This is where it's going to go if it's going down. Well, fuck, anybody can do that. Shit. My 15-year-old son can do that. And he don't even know what the hell a chart looks like. He's not interested at all. Okay, there you go. If that's what you're going to take as SMC or someone that's, let me tell you something. There are people on Twitter, okay, that have blocked me. I've never even mentioned their fucking name before. Like, I've never even mentioned these people. I don't even know who they are. Chart champions. Who the fuck is that? I was looking at it, I said, okay, here's a recommended thing. And my name got linked into that. And I was like, okay, well, let's see what this guy is. I'm blocked. What the fuck did I do to these people? I don't even know who they are. Who the fuck is that? I don't know. Probably somebody that fucking took my shit and repackaged it. I don't know. I'm taking a guess. If not, I apologize. But it's probably what it is. Because I don't remember ever talking about that man or person or whatever it is. It may be a gal. But long story short, if the collective opinion in the community at large is that SMC is a bunch of douchebags and fakes and blah, 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 based on what I've seen, then yeah, that is a true measurement, because I've seen the same thing. I've seen that.